Welcome back to Adults in Training.
You laugh too much.
I laugh too much. I can't laugh this much. I dropped the mic, so...
Drop the mic.
Yeah, no, that's not good in podcasting.
Yeah, it's also bad for the microphone.
It's not a great microphone, so that's okay.
It's okay to drop.
What I have for number 6 show notes is follow-up. We're Alive.
Hi.
Zombie podcast.
What?
This is what I was
planning. Yeah. We talked about that.
It's still appropriate.
Yeah.
We are
alive. I do remember talking about that.
Apparently we got one question last time, but it was during recording. I don't remember what that question was. Because that was like...
The notes literally say, we did get more than one question last time, but it was during recording. We didn't write down what the question was. So, to whoever's out there with a question that was unanswered, we would happily take your question again.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're really on the edge of your seat waiting for an answer, probably feeling really unfulfilled, but that's your own fault for putting your faith in people who aren't yourself.
We sincerely apologize for not being the you believed in.
Sure.
I'm not sure that made any sense.
Will to power.
Yeah, will to power. That happened over the last 6 to 8 months, however long it's been. I got into
6 to 8 hours for that, but yeah.
Yeah, I got into philosophy, guys.
Josh is a philosopher now.
Yeah.
So God help us.
Well, no, God is dead.
Depending on which philosopher you ask.
What did you say, Sam?
When was the last recording?
We have a question.
When was the last recording? Let's find out. I'm going to internet it. Clackety clack clack clack.
Have you tried Googling it yet?
I'm gonna go to SoundCloud and check there.
Probably wasn't even uploaded to SoundCloud.
Well, no, I did. I've uploaded all of the recordings, I believe. I sure need to remember what email. Oh, nope, that's not a thing.
Oh.
All right. Well,
you could just check Facebook.
Oh, I could. Yeah, I could. That'd be actually probably be easier. Oh, there's another thing that happened. Facebook pages. All right, so I guess we should explain where we've been.
So I actually have been in Australia for the past few months, on a kind of walkabout, as they call it. I don't know about where Josh has been. He doesn't have any excuse.
I was in a coma.
But it was all a dream. We were actually just lazy.
It was... Oh, you being in Australia was all a dream? Or me being in a coma?
Both.
Okay. So...
That we shared.
It was a shared dream experience. Yeah, we were both... Oh no, the sound's on! Alright, now the sound's off. That was Sam. She sent us a bunch of donuts in a gift form while I was looking up when we last recorded Adults in Training. I'm gonna have to cut out a lot of... Crap and pauses and uninteresting tidbits.
So this whole first second.
I still love our picture.
Yeah, it pops up on my Facebook every day reminding me of what a failure I am.
April 4th.
Oh. That's barely any time at all.
April... Oh yeah, because you know what? The last recording was right before we went on our camping trip. May.
That's where we've been, camping.
So it's only 5 months.
Yeah, don't exaggerate.
We've only missed 10 episodes, if this is...
Bi-monthly?
Bi-monthly. I had to think about it.
Yeah.
I almost said bi-weekly, but you don't like that.
I don't like
that. I think we've even talked about that.
I think that, it definitely came up.
That's definitely something that's come up, and then it came up again recently between us. What have we been doing? We have been lazy.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's true.
Fear of failure as well.
Yeah. That's a big thing. That's what actually stops the will to power.
It stops the will to power. So, I've been listening to a podcast called Philosophize This, and also getting philosophy from other sources as well. And they talked about the will to power today, which is what Nietzsche espoused. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, that's what should drive you in your life, is your will to power, and it's the ultimate expression of yourself and your wants and desires and needs and
what you gotta do to be you.
What you gotta do to be you. Yeah. I actually do feel like one of the reasons we didn't come back is because we didn't do our things.
Yeah, I don't think it was exactly fear of failure. I think it was fear of self-inflicted punishments.
Yeah.
It became really easy to just be like, oh, well, we didn't finish our stuff, but let's just we just record a few days later.
Yeah.
And yeah, that became a really bad problem.
So
5 months later,
5 months later,
we still haven't finished our last assignments.
This is actually true. I remember my last assignment. It was to turn a poem of mine into a song.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
Yeah. Mine was, I don't remember what my actual assignment was, but I know that I had...
to finish a short story?
I know that was on there. Yeah, that was part of it. I think there was something else, though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We probably could have listened to the last recording, but...
I like to go to this fresh.
Yeah, fresh. It's a reboot.
Yeah, reboot. It's been 5 months, guys.
That's
it's time for a reboot.
Name this.
It's time for a reboot?
Time for a reboot.
The real question you all are asking is, if we haven't been doing our projects for the past 5 months, what have we been doing?
I've been working at a job I don't like. But I'm not going to specify what that job is in case they happen to listen to this. So.
They still know who it is.
I guess I can cut this out. They're not going to listen to this. I don't like my job. I work for a after-school program. I guess it's not really the thing I don't like about it. I can't say what I don't like about it because then I'll get in trouble.
Yeah, it's the inappropriate come-ons from the children.
I feel like I can't. I'm not going to talk about that either because I also don't want to get in trouble.
Wait, is that a real thing?
What? No. I just mean like I feel like if I even joke about it, I'll like end up on some sexual watch list or something.
You can be on my sexual watch list any day. Yeah, I actually left my job, so I've had no excuse not to work on anything because I haven't been working. Although I have maybe a new something in the works, but that's very tentative, and I don't want to say anything about it in case it doesn't come true. So if it does come true, you'll hear about it in 5 months when we record our next episode.
Yeah, I should also say that my new job is much more of a time sink because it's like an 8-hour a day, 40-hour a week, real big boy job, I guess.
The man's keeping you down.
Yeah, the man is keeping me down. I hate capitalism. I guess.
So, do we have a new format for our podcast and our stuff?
I feel like it should still be follow-up and then a topic.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I was like, hey, let's start recording Adults in Training tomorrow. And you're like, okay. And then you're like, what should we talk about? And I was like, I don't know.
But we're like, we're just going to do it.
We're just going to do it.
Just do it.
Because we're expressing our will.
Yeah.
We are taking a risk.
It's not really a risk, though, because what do we have to lose?
That's
all
true.
of our listeners who already left 5 months ago.
Well, maybe they haven't left. Maybe
I've had
waiting.
like 3 people ask me if we were going to record again, so that's something.
And Angie said she checks religiously. She checks her podcast.
Yeah. And one of them wasn't even somebody I'm like particularly close with, so.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Anonymous. I don't want you to feel weird when I say I'm not particularly close to you.
Oh, so we both have new cats.
We do, except I don't interact with mine.
Ours, me and my girlfriend. Our cat is Xander, named after Xander from Buffy. Oh, that's something else. We finished Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, we did.
Finally.
And Angel.
It was good. You should all watch it.
It's great.
Angel's good too. The ending is weird, but that's because it continues in the comics.
Yep, and Joss Whedon is great. So we decided to round it out and watch his other show, Dollhouse. Which is
so far fantastic.
Yeah, super underrated, and it's really a shame that it never took off and that nobody ever really talks about it in his catalog of works because it's really good.
I feel like it's really well done.
I feel like objectively it might be his best show, and it like pains me to say that because I think I like all of his other shows better, except Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that doesn't really count.
Me and Sam are still in the new apartment.
I guess it's not really the new apartment anymore.
Yeah, I guess not. It's still kind of the new apartment we live in. I still call it the new.
I mean, but you don't have an old apartment technically, so.
That's true. I have gotten past the point. I think when I say I'm going home, I'm referring
actually
to,
mean here.
Yeah, I actually mean here. Although I still call my old house home too, which is weird. But
yeah,
it's like 2 homes, home.
Yeah.
2 homes for the.
I guess it's kind of hard to break that though when you lived there your whole life.
especially like a lot of people like their families have moved and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, my family's still in the same spot, which I'm not complaining about, but it's just weird.
He always complains about it.
What else has changed? Not the election. Well, kinda. It has. Bernie Sanders lost the primary since then.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Since then, yeah.
I think I talked about on the podcast how before I was a huge Bernie.
Yeah, I think.
Bernie fan.
I think at first you were like, "I'm going to be coy about this," and you're like, "Everybody who listens knows me anyway, so what's the point?"
I'm sad about it, but he's still trying to do good work with our revolution, which is cool. They endorsed Katie McGinty, who I like, for Senate. If you're not from PA, she's running for Senate. If you're from PA, you should register to vote and vote for her.
If you haven't registered to vote, then you're just a bad American.
Yeah.
Christian.
Registered to vote
Christian's
today.
registered to vote.
Today?
Today?
Yeah.
Sam
Sam's
just had a stroke.
Yeah, she's making a really funny face.
I didn't think that would ever happen.
No, I think he was probably like a little embarrassed / angry not getting to go to my voting party.
Hey, he'll get to come to this one.
Yeah, he will.
Unless he doesn't make it out to vote, in which case, screw him.
I will drive him to vote. He probably can walk to wherever he has to vote. I mean, I'd have to check. But...
It's probably like that church at the end of his block.
Yeah, probably.
I think we're being really too specific about Christian now.
Oh.
Because he lives right on at this address.
He lives by a church.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody lives by... Oh, you know what else happened? Pokemon Go.
Ooh, yeah. It happened and then unhappened.
And then unhappened. Man, we missed a whole lot of content we could have talked about.
Yeah.
Just...
The rise and fall of Pokemon Go. That's a good subtitle.
Well, it's funny, too, because I feel like if we had, like, kept with the recording schedule, we'd probably record and be like, Pokemon Go is awesome, we're playing all the time, let's go Pokemon Go right now. And then we'd come back, like, 2 weeks later and be like, what the hell, Pokemon Go?
This game sucks.
I feel like it's kind of, like, evened out.
Yeah, it's evened out to the point where I don't hate it, but I'm not super interested in it either, so...
I honestly haven't played it at all recently. I was playing it, like, every day for, like, 3 weeks straight.
Yeah. I only play it when we walk the dog, pretty much.
Yeah, I guess the reason is that I don't really walk around. I don't go for walks or anything like that. Could take Xander for walks. He actually doesn't mind being on a leash. He'd probably get really distracted. Xander eats everything.
Including whole chicken bones. Whole chicken skeletons.
Oh my god. I was so scared.
He ate a chicken bone the other day, and Sam thought he was going to die, but he was fine. Because it was super soft, because I had it in the... Slow cooker. Alright. Let's see. I'm going to look at our show notes from before and see if there's water and cereal. I'm not even eating cereal anymore. Remember that was like a whole thing. We were talking about water and cereal.
Just gave it up.
Just gave it up. I mean, we get it every once in a while. And I eat it with milk because it's like a treat when we get it.
Yeah. It's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
And I imagine when you live on your own, it's like you only want to buy like one box, maybe two, and because they go bad pretty fast. And I don't know.
Being facetious right now. Cereal doesn't go bad very fast.
I mean, it gets stale.
That's what I mean. I don't mean like it gets like maggots in it or anything. But...
I'm sorry, Maggatos are my favorite.
I know.
And then, okay, we have Make Donald Trump again. He's still...
Been there, done that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Donald Trump. Well, I'm going to keep calling him Donald Trump, because I forgot about that joke.
Bringing it back.
It's still... the add-on is still on my computer.
Is it really?
Yeah,
That's
and
funny.
I just, like, kind of, like, don't even think about it.
I see, like, every once in a while somebody posts it, I'm just like, oh,
Yeah. Donald Trump is the Republican candidate now. Although it was pretty certain, I think, even then, that he's probably going to be the Republican candidate.
There was going to
Sorry,
be
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz.
It's really weird to talk about, like, news that's old, but not really that old.
Yeah, but it just seems so old, I guess, because you're just so...
Because of the 24-hour news cycle.
You're just pounded by political stuff.
Yeah. I mean...
And by this whole election.
In
another sense.
We don't have TV, and we're still...
We don't have cable or even network TV in our house, and we got the Facebook news trending. Oh, there's something else that changed. Me and Sam have taken a Facebook hiatus, kind of. Like, it's like a
You seem to be easing back into it.
Yeah, we're easing back into it. I feel like I'm still not as bad as I used to be.
Yeah.
But I can catch myself when I'm on it too much. Like, I'm like, I have to log out. Last week's goals. Mike, listen to 5 podcasts and write a short story.
Yo, I did listen to 5 podcasts in the past 5 months. I think I've actually completed that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because we got the Tim Tam Slam.
Yeah.
The Honored Australian tradition. Bring it back. Oh, so this is probably not from the last time. This is probably from the one before that.
Yeah.
Oh, Stephen King's On Writing. Still putting that off.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't we be?
I you know what? I've considered picking that up several times.
I just actually completely forgot about it.
Yeah, I'm like not even like for the podcast.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, I did want to read that for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, what did I finish reading? I've gone through a lot of books.
Yeah, you really picked up your pace.
Yeah. What did I read? I've read all the Magician books, which are fantastic. I recommend them.
I didn't realize you finished those.
Yeah, I did finish them. I actually found the ending pretty satisfying.
Yeah, I like the end.
I definitely finished The Dark Tower.
Yeah.
I think I finished that while we were still recording. I started his Dark Materials recently. Even though I was reading The Stranger by Albert Camus, which is a super short book, I was like, I really feel compelled to read The Stranger now. Oh, I read A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is really good. I don't know if whoever is listening is into Game of Thrones, but if you've read those books, or even if you haven't, that book is still good. They're like, it's a bunch of short stories that just follow each other consecutively, and I think it's
like kind of a prequel.
Yeah, it's really good. It takes place 100 years before. Ready Player One, yeah. Oh, anyone who's into video games or 80s culture or both, because I feel like a lot of people are into both. The 80s are coming back.
The 80s should have never left.
Codex Alera, I'm working on. Well, I've read the first one, which is Furies of Calderon. I read the second one, which is I don't remember.
Spoilers.
I don't know. Yeah, if you say that's one of the problems with the Codex Alera. It's a really good book series. It's like a mix of fantasy and Roman
I think
Legion.
we've talked about it on here once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we're talking about how you can make anything into a story and there's no original idea, and Jim Butcher with Pokemon and the Roman Legion. And
yeah.
It's
really good. I never actually read it until I started reading it recently. And I really enjoy it. I'm not finished now. I'm only 2 books in. I need to download the 3rd book. I think what's picked up my pace is that I've been listening to audiobooks as well as reading books in person.
Yeah.
I'm doing both. Double teaming it.
Double fisting.
Double penetration.
Well.
You said double fisting!
That means drinking 2 alcohols at one time.
Oh yeah, it does. See,
That's not the same thing!
But see, my thought went to other kind of fisting.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? We are using euphemisms, so I'm not gonna cut this out. We did not say put blank into blank.
Not sure if that would have been worse or better. Anyway, Josh does the editing, so blame him for anything that gets left in that shouldn't be.
You know what a kid told me today? He said not to play. I was putting on music for the kids, and he asked for AC/DC. He said, but don't play Big Balls because it's gay. Now, I was like, first of all, like, what's wrong with it being gay? But even I was like, it's not gay. He's like, yeah, my dad says that too. He says it's just funny. I was like, I think you don't understand it. He's like, it is funny. He's like, but I think it's gay. They just talk about balls the whole time. I'm like, I don't think you get it.
Yeah.
He was in 6th grade. I was like,
I mean, when you're in 6th grade, everything's gay. But when everything's gay, nothing will be.
It was interesting. It was an interesting conversation, talking to kids who, especially that age, middle school, who are like half adults.
Yeah.
Like they're
starting to figure out how to operate in the real world.
Yeah.
And then they realize you never figure out how to operate in the real world.
Yeah. A lot of times Sam will be like, I feel like I'm a child who doesn't know what's going on. I'm like, that's how everyone else feels. Some people are just better at lying.
Yeah. Good at faking it.
What else have we?
Well, I mean, so we want to talk about our plans going forward.
Yeah. I would like to stop punishments.
Yeah.
Oh,
Our
but what about Tim Tam Slams?
That's a reward.
You can positive reinforcement works a lot better than negative reinforcement.
Yeah.
That's a psychological fact.
And that's also probably why we stopped doing this.
Yeah.
Because every week coming. Also, I'd like it. I don't want to stop talking about our projects and being creative, but I think I'd like this. Because, like, we do all that follow up about random stuff, and, like, people are like, this is interesting and want to hear it. Like, I feel like I get good feedback about that stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to keep talking about that stuff. I want this to not just be about creating things.
Yeah.
But I also like to keep that.
But I'd like to, keep that rolled in.
We have a creativity corner.
Still work on our projects. Like,
Bring back Trib. Trib, we still play Trib.
That's been my project in every sense.
Is that we Oh, you mean it as a book?
No, podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say. How did you not?
Podcast.
Yeah, see, okay. I could try to do that.
That could be your new project.
That could be my new project. Out with the album.
So basically, this podcast just becomes the making of everything Trib related. Because I'm writing Tribulation, you're podcasting Tribulation.
I'm living Tribulation.
I hope not.
Whatever. I mean, after this election cycle, it's pretty much the same thing.
Xander, the microphone wire is not a toy.
Yes, it is. Eat it.
I don't want to drop the mic again.
Drop the mic.
But yeah, I feel like just living with my guilt is enough of a punishment for punishment.
Also, just coming up with a punishment every time, it's just hard to like come up with like funny things without being like disgusting or super mean or
weird.
Yeah.
Each other foot rubs.
That was funny.
It was funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if it made everybody else uncomfortable.
I hope so. Kimmy just got mad because she didn't get a foot rub.
That's the natural reaction, right? You see someone else get a foot rub, you want a foot rub.
That's how they punish them. Is give each other.
Give each other. We should have foot rub corner at the end of every episode. We just give each other foot rubs.
Yeah, that's something we can put it in the show notes for next week.
Maybe if like we get a Kickstarter or something going, it could be like a top tier award that you get a foot rub.
Foot rub.
Personally.
Personal foot
I'll
rub.
come to your house and rub. We will each rub one of your feet. That'd be good.
You can tell us who's better.
No, don't tell us. That's like a punishment.
Yeah, I guess so.
Positive reinforcement. Tell us what each of us did well.
Yeah. Well, there's a thing called sandwich criticism.
Yeah. It's the compliment sandwich.
You give someone a compliment, and then a criticism, and then another compliment on top.
You know what's the worst? When people just give you a criticism, and then the compliment, and then criticism on the bottom.
Hey.
Well, what if you like it's like a triple decker? So it's like
a club sandwich.
Compliment, criticism, compliment, criticism, compliment.
As long as you start and end with compliment, it's fine. It could even be like compliment, criticism, 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 compliment.
That's actually probably would really work because people only really remember the last thing you said to them.
Yep. Because I tune out everyone else when they.
What else do we need to talk about? Ubermensch.
I am the Ubermensch.
You are the Ubermensch. Oh man, we've only been talking for 27 minutes.
Ugh.
God, you guys are so boring. It's like you talk to each other every day or something.
Yeah, it is like we talk to each other every day.
Really, you need to be like the Vlog Brothers.
Oh, you know what should be...
Move across the country from each other? No thanks.
Yeah, I don't want to move away that far from Mike.
Then we wouldn't be able to do Tribulation, the game.
I've been thinking about going back to school. That's a thing.
I haven't.
That sure ended that conversation quickly. I just like did not know where to go from there. I guess I have been still like doing a lot of creative stuff. That's what we should talk about. Have we been doing anything creative in our 5-month hiatus?
I mean, I've been working on all of my tabletop games.
That's true.
I consider that a creative. That's like my main creative outlet because all of you needy people.
Oh, hold up. You're like, okay, for Tribulation I understand, we play every week. But then otherwise you're like, Josh, I have this great idea for a tabletop. Do you want to play? Who can we get to play?
Yep.
Let's start 5 tabletops.
Because I need an outlet for my creativity.
Maybe you should put it into your story.
All of them. Just some weird amalgamation of everything.
It could be like some like weird alternate universe story where there's a bunch of different universes that have nothing to do with each other.
And like the stories contained within have nothing to do with one another either.
Isn't that like kind of like Discworld?
Probably. I don't know. I never actually read the Discworld books.
Yeah,
I know they're kind of weird and stuff.
My old boss's cat's named after the cat from Discworld.
I think I say his name's Discworld.
I think technically Good Omens takes place in the Discworld.
Does it?
I'm not sure.
So what have you been outletting your creativity on?
I guess poetry. I have been writing poetry and reading it.
Slam poetry.
Not really. I feel like mostly I've been editing poetry. Nah, I've written some poetry. It's just not good poetry. I use I too much. Everything's in the first person point of view.
First
and
person
then it
poetry.
becomes slam poetry? No.
Edit it into slam poetry.
I think slam poetry is good. I'm just getting sick of it because it's like pop poetry right now.
Yeah.
It's like the poetry
Poppetry.
that everyone is into, and no one appreciates the weird stuff. Or nobody does anything different. They all do the same thing. I guess it's just...
That's not what I heard about your open mic night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I went to an open mic night the other week with Sam, and there was sure some interesting stuff going on there. For example, the puppet master, as this woman called herself, she stood on stage, well not stage, at the podium. It was just like a room with chairs, and just danced a little doll along to "Hungry Like the Wolf" by Duran Duran. Literally just, you can't see it, but like literally just hopping my hand back and forth on the podium.
What a lovely and pure form of self-expression.
Man, I wish there was video so everyone could just see my face. I'm sure that awkward pause is enough. There was also, there were some really good musicians and poets and stuff there. I skipped 1 to 2 pages of my poem.
Okay, you say 1 to 2, like you're not really sure.
I'm not sure. I'd have to double check. Well, it was printed out double-sided, and I didn't staple it, and and the worst part is, it still made sense, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I feel like that means I can cut stuff out, but I also, like, some of the stuff that wasn't read was some of my favorite parts of that poem.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but I don't want that to be cut out.
Yeah.
Maybe it would. I feel like it didn't get as many laughs as it should have. So maybe it's because I lost half the page. I also feel like my second poem didn't get as many laughs as it should have.
It's okay. There's always the next puppet master.
They're too young to know.
They're too young to know.
They're sweet summer children.
Ezra Pound was.
There's a college. Well, if anything, the people who are in the Kelly Writers House at University of Penn should know who Ezra Pound is.
That's fair.
Although I do feel like some people laughed at that one. I have a poem called The Pound Express. I might have even talked about it on this podcast before, but it's a really short poem. It's called The Pound Express. It goes, Ezra Pound was a fascist. The only good poems he wrote were 2 lines long. I just feel like no one appreciates that joke.
It's okay, buddy.
And I think it's really, really funny. And like, I don't mean that in like, you know how people laugh at their own jokes and stuff.
In like an objective sense, you feel like it's funny.
Yeah, I feel like it's really funny, but no one appreciates it. Ezra Pound was a fascist and a terrible person. I guess he might have been a good editor. He kind of like collected poets.
Yeah, he's one of those weirdos.
Yeah, he was like.
It's better than Allen Ginsberg, who collected children.
Oh gosh.
Or the
We
Dalai
went
Lama.
there. The Dalai Lama?
What?
Oh no, wait.
You mean Muhammad Gandhi?
I mean Mahatma Gandhi.
This Dalai Lama's a wonderful person, you monster. China actually just apparently the European Parliament or something just met with the Dalai Lama, which is like a big no-no in international politics because he is like persona non grata with China. Like they hate him. They consider him like the biggest enemy of the state because he fights for a free Tibet. Wow. But as a fight, he just says Tibet should be free. The European Parliament, or whatever they are, I think that's what they're called, the people who lead the European Union, met with him, and China is threatening reprisal just for them meeting with him.
Oh my god.
Also, fun fact, their Minister of Foreign Affairs or whatever it is, the guy who released the statements for China, his name is Liu Kang, the protagonist of Mortal Kombat. Just putting that out there as well.
Perhaps it really is Liu Kang.
I think it is, so somebody's gonna get bicycle kicked.
I hope so.
Finisher.
Take that, Dalai Lama.
Oh, I don't want him to get bicycle.
You child toucher.
He's not a child.
That's what Sam said.
I meant Gandhi. I meant Gandhi.
To be fair, that was his niece.
To be
Make it
fair.
better.
That's like saying, to be fair, Allen Ginsberg had quote unquote consensual sex with teenagers.
Yep.
Although I read this really interesting article by someone who was a sexual partner of his, and who was underage, but how he did it so he could meet famous poets and stuff. He was a college student, and he was like, yeah, I had sex with Allen Ginsberg because I wanted to meet all these famous poets and learn from them and stuff like that. I'm like, that's not great, but that's kind of funny.
At least some good came of this, I guess. I don't know what the guy's mental state is like, but
yeah, I don't know what his mental state is.
He could be.
I mean, he wrote an article. It was pretty good.
Oh, there you go.
It was interesting.
Has he ever written any poetry?
I don't know. I don't even remember the guy's name. So
we'll never know.
He might be famous, and I just famous in the poet sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so not famous at all.
Yeah.
Where were we? We got really sidetracked.
I don't know. I went to a poetry reading this weekend too.
Nice.
That was interesting. It reminded me how much I get bored of poetry readings. If you because a lot of poets, I feel some of them are teachers, so they're not necessarily bad at presentation, but a lot of them. Oh, hey Xander, do you object to our conversation about poets?
He just wants to eat them all.
He just wants to eat them all. Probably just wants to play. Alright, anyway, a lot of poets don't read with any passion or gumption.
Yeah.
And it's not they don't read monotone, but they kinda do. They just kinda read it.
Yeah. They just put the words out in front of you.
And if you don't have
you showmanship.
Yeah.
Like a dancing Barbie doll.
Yeah. That's the one thing I like about spoken word is that it kind of requires you to put some oomph in it.
Yeah.
But I'm can't you just do that with regular poetry? Isn't there some balance in between?
New album idea. Upbeat slam poetry. Happy, positive slam poetry.
Actually,
my childhood was great. My parents loved me.
I listened to a really funny spoken word poem about Meek Mill's and Drake's Twitter feud. So I guess
that's pretty hysterical.
There is some good non-depressing spoken word out there. Yeah, that's one of my other. It's not really a complaint about spoken word. It's just there's a lot of only negative stuff about really serious issues, and I think that's good, but I also
don't want to listen to it nonstop.
I understand that it's like a what is the word?
Catharsis.
Yeah, catharsis. A way to channel issues and really important issues about racism and sexism and mental illness and stuff like that. So those are all good things. That it's just every time I hear a spoken word poem, it's always about something like that. But I guess things aren't interesting without conflict. It'd be boring if I just wrote a poem if it was everything's great, everything's fine,
everything's grand.
I'm Donald Trump. I don't know.
Donald Trump slam poetry. That's what I want. That's what this world needs. I'm not even gonna try.
I'm just trying to think.
I think it's funnier in everyone's head.
Just imagining what he would do. Be I can't even make fun of him right now. Nah. I'm trying to think of his weird mannerisms when he talks.
Yeah.
Where
It's a great poem. The greatest poem.
The great poem. The greatest poem.
I've consulted with some of the best poets there are. They told me it was great.
I'm not saying his poem is bad, but I've heard it. I've heard it from other people.
A lot of experts have said it's bad.
Yeah, that's not me. I'm not saying
Leading experts in all their fields.
I feel like it's too easy to talk about Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I feel like we're cashing in. I don't want to be a sellout.
Don't want to be a sellout.
Yeah.
Don't want to be a corporate shill.
Corporate shill. Yeah. It's
Corporate
just too
shill.
easy to just talk about the election in general. Where are we going with this podcast, Mike?
Wherever we want. This is America.
This is America. We're gonna make this podcast great again.
That is probably true. Or we'll get lazy and stop all at once. But hopefully it's the former.
So are we gonna set goals? Is that something we're gonna do?
I think not this week because I didn't put any thought into that.
Okay.
But I also have that other writing project that I'm working on that I'm not supposed to talk about yet.
Okay.
I have a suggestion for a goal.
Sure.
Record the next podcast.
Ooh. Ambitious.
And
Yeah.
that is ambitious. All right. 2
Don't
weeks.
be ambitious. Don't be ambitious.
Oh my god, I'm so glad that John
Oh, there's something else that
Stranger
happened.
Things?
Stranger Things.
Oh, that's so
What a good show.
Yeah, my favorite character, Steve Saperstein, father of John Ralphio Saperstein from everyone's favorite Parks and Rec. Yeah, it is a fantastic show. Speaking of the 80s coming back,
Yeah.
because they never should have left. And speaking of tabletop RPGs, because Dungeons and Dragons features pretty heavily thematically into the show.
What a good show.
It's pretty much great in every respect.
I don't want to spoil too much, so
Fantastic
just go
child
watch
actors. Fantastic adult actors, except for maybe Winona Ryder, but everybody knew that already.
it. Did any movies come out since
I assume some Marvel movie had to have come
Civil
out.
War?
That was in May.
Yeah, so it came out.
yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, it was good. I've been trying to get Joey to watch it, but he's had a concussion, so he's not allowed.
Oh no, I didn't know Joey had a concussion.
Yeah, all my brothers get concussions. Luke had nose surgery the other day.
I didn't know that either.
He broke his nose for the second time, and so he had to have it fixed by like a plastic surgeon.
I would have.
Is this playing sport ball?
Yes, it was playing sport ball, but not professional sport ball. It was just recreational sport ball.
Oh, like backyard sport ball.
Yeah, backyard sport ball.
That's
To the uninformed, football. It's this sport that some kids play at certain times.
I didn't know if it was football. There's other sport balls.
Not any that are worth.
Yeah, I sure just don't like any of them.
I'm okay with baseball.
I was gonna say I like track, but that's not even a sport. Ball.
And there's no balls. Yeah. I mean, there are balls attached to people, but.
And I wouldn't watch track. I just like it.
And if you like do track and field, I guess like
Oh, yeah,
technically
shot
shot
put.
put
I used to do
is
shot
a
put.
ball, sort of. It's more like a round weight, but.
I did shot put because I had to do shot put. We were required to do 3 events when I was in track.
I've
So
never shot putted before.
It's not that. I mean, it's difficult, but it's like the technique isn't difficult.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I mean, you just kind of hold a ball and spin around, right?
Well, you gotta like throw it in a certain way.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't know how to explain it. Man, I'm super interested in what has happened in the last 5 months, but I feel like it's nothing.
I know.
X-Men.
X-Men, boy, that was underwhelming, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sure was an okay movie.
Yeah.
You should watch it if you like the other ones, I guess.
Yeah.
Zootopia?
Star Trek. Oh, Zootopia was great. I don't know if that happened in the last 5 months, but that was.
I didn't see Zootopia. I don't think so, because I think I remember us talking about it last time we casted.
Zootopia was great. The Jungle Book was great.
That was great.
He
Lot of
got a
good-
new job.
Kimmy got a new job.
Yeah.
I brought donuts.
Oh, yo, it's our reward.
This
Guess
is our
it's time for the end
reward.
of the podcast.
See you later, suckers!
Peace out. There's donuts.